Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of B to Z. So in today's episode, we're gonna start a new series that I'm gonna call Random Inspection. This will be just exactly what the title says. It's just gonna be random inspections of a random hive to give you guys an idea of how I go through my hives, and more for the new beekeeper that is looking into how to do an inspection, what to look for, and how to actually do the inspection, how to manipulate the frames, how to look for the queen, look for the eggs and larvae, cat brood, queen cells, propolis, etc., etc., etc. What drones look like, drone cells, and just the everyday happenings of the um, inspections. So, so one inspection may come up with nothing. Another inspection may come up with something new. So it's just a random inspection. Sometimes the inspections may end up into splits, or into adding boxes to it, or into just letting it grow so it's really high density, and moving from 3 frames to 5 frames, or maybe even from 5 frames to 10 frame boxes. So again, random inspections, exactly what it sounds like. It's going to be very random. Never know what the inspection is going to be. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and start our first random inspection today. So this is a hive that I keep all my notes on here. This is a hive that um, I split with a queen cell back in June, and got my first set of eggs on July 2nd. And then here we are, fast forward to last week. I labeled it as a strong hive. I had 4 out of 5 frames of eggs, and I found the queen, the eggs, and the larva. And on the 21st, I did a mite treatment. I've been doing this. That was my 4th mite treatment in my entire apiary. So today is August 25th, and here we go. I got my smoker with me in case we need it. It's about maybe 9 o'clock in the morning. It's an unusually cool day for Florida here. It's probably like 75, 78 degrees, something like that. Little hive beetle there on the top. Got some ants on the top. Not worried about it. The bees take care of it. Pretty good density. Swifter pad. Got one live beetle right there. We'll smash it up against the frames. Just giving my smoker some more puffs to make sure it stays lit. Another small hive beetle there. Was right underneath the swifter pad there. And I don't see any more live ones for now, so we'll set this to the side. So the density looks pretty good. There's bees from wall to wall, but they're not covering the tops. So I don't think these guys are ready for a second box or to go into a 10 frame yet. My goal is to split this hive soon. Here in Florida, we do splits all the way through at least November. At least I did last year. It's my second year of beekeeping. Trying to do this as gracefully as possible. Not wearing a veil, no protection yet. I tend not to wear nothing when I'm inspecting a smaller hive. So I see some pollen. I do see eggs inside those cells. I don't see the queen on this frame. We're going to flip it over. I see more pollen. So these guys are packing in the pollen. For sure. We're going to set this frame to the side for now. We'll go on to the next one. So we did see eggs, so that called that half a frame with eggs. Nice frame of brood here. Most of my frames are foundationless, so I need to be careful on how I manipulate these guys. But that's cat brood, which you see there. This is all cat brood there. The other side is also full of cat brood. That's all cat brood. You have a couple lone drone cells here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So not much drone cells on this frame. So we'll call that 1.5 frames of brood so far. See some of the guys there, some of the girls there with some pollen sacs. This is all full of larvae. Entire frame, wall-to-wall larvae. Still got some emerging brood towards the outside of the frame. I don't see the queen here. We'll go on to the next one, the opposite side. This one's got foundation on it, so we'll flip it. Lots of cat brood there. So now we're going to call this 2.5 frames of brood. It's a nice healthy hive. They're still not ready for another box yet. We're beginning to draw this side out, and there's some eggs in those new cells. I also see some larvae towards the center. So it tells me that as they're building this out, she's coming back in and filling it with eggs, and then they build, and then she keeps on coming back because there's larvae right in here. So she didn't lay all this at once. Let's see what the other side looks like. Same, and there's the queen towards the bottom of the frame corner. Now she's running to the top. She's right in the center. There she is. There's our queen there. And this is all laid up in eggs. Every bit of this is laid up in eggs. There's a little patch here of brood where the queen is laying on. So I'm going to call this just a half a frame of brood. And at this point, if I wanted to end the inspection, I would do that right now. So we're calling this 3 frames of brood so far. We saw the queen and we saw eggs. Either one of those we can use as evidence that we know that there is a queen. Either eggs or larvae. So we got a little bit of drone comb to the right there, and a little patch of worker cat brood there on towards the center left side. That's the outside, and this will be the inside. Same concept, same pattern. All this stuff we see here on the sidebars, that's the propolis. That's the bee glue. It's very sticky stuff. Some people prefer to use gloves when they do their inspections because it makes their hands sticky. I find that just a couple of washes of regular dish soap and water, and it goes away. So it's a lot easier to do inspections with bare hands. So I'm going to call this 3 frames of brood. Not ready for any more space yet. Got lots of propolis on the edges here. That's just a bee I smushed there. We'll put back this first frame we took out that's full of pollen. Right back into the same exact spot. I give it a little shake as I go down, since there's quite a bit of bees here, so that this way I tend to smush less bees because they'll kind of move out of the way. As you can see, I did not use any smoke. I believe that smoke does disturb bees. They all tend to want to go engorge themselves in smoke. But sometimes you have no choice but to use it. And when they engorge themselves in smoke, I think that that kind of slows them down for a day or so, or maybe a few hours. I'm not sure exactly how long they stay in that engorging mode until they empty out the nectar or honey they suck down and put it back into the comb. So you can see the propolis here at the edges of the cover, and that's just them trying to seal the cover to the box to prevent any critters from getting in, rain, weather, etc., etc. take a quick peek at what the entrance looks like. So you can see that there's pollen coming in, and also see that the entrance is about 70 to 80% reduced. And I do that to most of my hives. The less space that they have to defend, the less chances of the splits being robbed out or killed by other stronger hives during dearth. So I'm in a expanding mode right now. I try to do as many splits as possible, regardless of flow. So whether there's nectar coming in or not, my bees are being split. So reduced entrances really help. Bees always inhabit various areas where they'll have tiny little entrances, and then when you go into the hive is huge, so they can manage a small entrance. So again, I'm in Florida and it does get hot in the afternoons too. This hive does not beard at all, so there is quite a bit of bees in it. It's not jam-packed yet. It doesn't have 5 frames out of 5 of brood, so we'll see how it goes as they get bigger. So, but again, I have probably 10-20 splits right now. Maybe about a third of them waiting for queens to come back, and I rarely ever see any bearding on my hives that are nukes. But it does happen, you know. I'm not gonna say it never happens. It does happen. They beard when it gets very hot. So you can see that they're dragging out the dead. Right there, you can see them dragging out some dead. Good amount of activity coming in and out of the hive, and there's still plenty of pollen coming in. Check that out. They got almost one entire frame of pollen, and they're still bringing in the pollen. One frame, so they got 20% of their space inside this hive. That's pollen, and they're still packing it in. So they're really growing. They're expanding, and I'd say probably in a few more weeks, these guys will be ready for a 10 frame box. All right, guys. So that's it for now. That'll be the end of this first numero uno random inspection. For more of these videos, stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll be doing one of these random videos maybe once, maybe twice a week. It just depends on timing. And we'll go from there. So, like always, thanks for watching another episode of B to Z. Till next time, take care.